Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. The Minister of Health, Adam Niedzielski, has announced that the current coronavirus restrictions have been extended by 1 week. The only exceptions are kindergartens and nurseries, which will reopen, and open-air sport will now be permitted, with up to 25 people allowed to play together.
Primary school and advanced students will continue to conduct their learning remotely. The most important parameter will be the number of daily cases if it dips below 30 per 100,000. Of course, we will also look at the number of infections in a given region, how many vaccines are available in hospitals, and how many people have been vaccinated. The children and their parents are looking forward to the reopening of kindergartens and nurseries that have been closed since March 27th. The Minister of Education and Science, Stanisław Kowalski, announced that by May all classes will adopt stationary or hybrid learning. In kindergarten, the most important thing is that children have contact with their peers and their teacher. Education in kindergarten is about fun, interaction, observation, imitation, not lectures. Therefore, it is very difficult to accomplish this task over the computer. Preschool children should not use computers and electronics alone, so we are very happy to be back with the children and with our work.
Także bardzo się cieszymy, że będziemy mogli wrócić do normalnej naszej.
Ta decyzja jest oczywiście decyzją trudną.
It is a difficult decision that was made for the sake of health, but also for the sake of the economy and the parents. Almost 2 million parents look after their children. We can see that the number of infections is gradually decreasing.
I przy sytuacji, w której zmniejsza się liczba zakażeń.
From 19th of April, outdoor sports will also resume. At the same time, a maximum of 25 people will be able to use such sports facilities. The Minister of Health, Adam Niedzielski, also announced that the talks are underway on the regional regulations of the restrictions. The priority in easing the restrictions is a complete return to full-time education. I think this year is lost. If we stay at home, let's stay there. Let them go back to school from September, but distance learning is not learning. It's difficult for children too. They have to stay at home. Parents are not working. The Minister of Health also said that the hotels will remain closed during the 1st of May weekend. Further information on a possible tightening or loosening of the restrictions will be presented at the press conference next week.
The European Union has ordered another batch of 50 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine to be distributed amongst member states by the end of June. According to Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, this will help speed up the national vaccination programme in Poland. Meanwhile, the third wave of coronavirus infections is slowing down.
The Ministry of Health has reported 21,283 new infections, bringing the total number to over 2,620,000. A further 803 people have died, bringing the number of deaths from COVID to 59,930. Nearly 100,000 new tests have been performed. With nearly 180,000 vaccinations a day, the total number of doses distributed has reached 7,970,164. 3,695,556 people have been vaccinated with the first dose and 2,137,304 with the second dose.
The media outlet Project Veritas, known for its undercover investigative journalism, released new secretly recorded footage on Tuesday that shows CNN's technical director, Charlie Chester, describing how the network actively worked to oppose Trump's campaign during the 2020 presidential election.
CNN technical director Charlie Chester played the starring role in the video. Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? The video shows Chester telling someone off camera. Without saying it, that's what it was. Sources revealed that the CNN employee was targeted by Project Veritas via the dating app Tinder, in which his dating profile included CNN. The unidentified Project Veritas employee went on a total of 5 dates with Chester, during which he gave damning testimonies of the media's interference with the 2020 US presidential election, where he personally referred to his network's work to defeat former President Donald Trump as propaganda. But he said he believed in the mission. The video released by Project Veritas, titled Part 1, adheres to the outlet's usual modus operandi of the gradual release of information and indicates that there is more footage yet to come.
There are not many written sources for the earliest history of Poland, but we do know for sure that the first ruler of Poles, Prince Mieszko, was baptized in 966, 1,055 years ago. At that time, Easter was in mid-March, so historians assume that the actual date was April the 14th.
The baptism of Poland, or more precisely, the baptism of Prince Mieszko is undoubtedly one of the most important dates for the Poles. Apart from the religious symbology, it was also the founding act of the nation and its identity. This important date is especially celebrated in Gniezno, the first capital of Poland, where the Pope John Paul II recalled this date in 1979. When Prince Mieszko was baptized, he was probably unaware of the importance that it has. For the next 1,000 years, Poland joined the community of Western civilization.
Jest to fakt pierwszy.
This is the most important fact for the entire history of Poland, because if Poland had not been baptized in the Roman Catholic rite, it would have been a complete different country. The famous historian Professor Andrzej Nowak does not rule out that it could have been, for example, one of the Ruthenian principalities.
Profesor Nowak nie wyklucza.
If you have yet to take up an active lifestyle, don't worry, it is never too late to start. The oldest runner in Poland, Stanisław Kowalski, turned 111 years old today. Mr. Kowalski was born on April the 14th, 1910, 4 years prior to the outbreak of the First World War. 104 years later, he started his career as a runner and has since achieved several world records.
Mr. Stanisław Kowalski lives in Świdnica in western Poland and started his athletic career at the age of 104. Before that, he had been cycling to work his whole life. Even over the age of 90, he travels several kilometers a day to lay flowers on the grave of his deceased wife. Stanisław Kowalski is the oldest competitor in the world to take part in the official track and field competitions in the 60-meter run, 100-meter run, discus, and shot put. Among his achievements are the Indoor European Masters Championship in 60 meters, shot put, and discus, and world records for 100 meters and discus. In June 2015, when he competed at the Polish Veterans Championships, he became the world's oldest athlete. The World Master Athletics had to open a new age division for those over 105. The second sportsman in that cohort was the Japanese Hidekichi Miyazaki, who died 2 years ago. Kowalski surpassed the accomplishments of American John Whittemore, who competed at 104 years and 10 months. The world's oldest runner credits his longevity to never going to the physician and doing whatever he wants.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business, and more programs. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.